The Delhi Consumer Court has pulled up e-commerce giant Amazon for deficiency of service and unfair trade practices. The court directed Amazon India to mention contact details of the grievance officer on its website for a transparent grievance redressal mechanism. Now, where did it all come about? The court's directive follows a plea regarding Amazon's delay in actually issuing a refund for a defective laptop, which stretched over a staggering 17-month period. The court imposed a penalty of 45,000 rupees on Amazon and retailers for taking nearly a year and a half to issue a refund for a faulty laptop. Now, during the proceedings, the Consumer Court has underscored Amazon's role not merely as a neutral intermediary, but as an active participant in a transaction process. It highlighted that Amazon's practice of accepting orders, placing them with third-party sellers, and ultimately concluding contracts dismisses any notion of it being a mere facilitator. This is an important court order. It sets precedents on to what extent Amazon can get away with delivering faulty products and not issuing refunds on time. Krishna Kumar continues to be with me. Krishna, what implication does it really have for people like you and me? I mean, we put up those refund requests. They can last up to a month and a half. In this case, a plea where it lasted for a year and a half, and a Delhi Consumer Court says enough is enough.
Yeah, and by that logic, you know, the fine, I'm not sure if it includes all the amount that is owed with interest involved over the period of a year and a half. But the fact of the matter is that, Shweta, you know, when I speak to friends from the US, you know, the way refunds are done, the ease with which and the pace with which refunds are done in the US, it's surprising that it's not happening in India, which is a huge market for Amazon. It will continue to be the biggest growth market for Amazon going forward. So it is surprising that for something as simple as this, it took a year and a half, and eventually it had to be a penal action from a consumer court that eventually brings this to our notice. Now, how many more cases like this go unnoticed on a daily basis? You know, things that don't go to the consumer court, that don't have a verdict in favor of the consumer. All of these things are, you know, is something that we don't know until a story like this comes up on our feeds. So since the story like this has come up on our feed, it's a good time to question the fact whether those refunds that they're putting out, that we are trying to get on Amazon, are getting processed right. If it is not getting processed right, then it's up to Amazon to look into what is going wrong as far as refund process is going on in the Indian market. Because you know, I'm sure you also have friends in the US. You know, they don't have faced any of these issues. In fact, in the US, Amazon.com, the global, the global Amazon is actually fighting, you know, all these refund scams in the US, where you know, so there are you know, expensive items get swiped off in the name of you know, it being returned and asking for refunds. So it is fighting a different battle, you know, in the US and globally. But as far as India is concerned, Indian consumers are concerned, it is a worrying trend that something as simple as a laptop, you can't get a refund, you can't get it picked up. You know, it took more than 10 days for that laptop to be picked up in the first place. And after that laptop got picked up, you know, it took a year and a half for this to happen, and that too in the form of a verdict from a consumer court, Shweta.
Absolutely, and this consumer court verdict by Delhi Consumer Court, for that matter, very close to back home, essentially would mean that Amazon will have to be wary next time onward before it takes very, very long to issue that sort of refund and a delay, you know, therein in sort of refunds. So Indian Consumer Court basically waking up to consumers' plight when it comes to dealing with a lot of e-commerce entities, including Amazon, where Amazon has now been fined a mere 45,000 rupees fine there, but also setting a precedence when it comes to consumer practices while negotiating with consumers on a deadline as far as refunds is concerned.